go through the arteries and veins of the cat. We'll start with the veins. Remember that veins always move back towards the heart. So we're going to start next to the heart, but they are not going to be moving out. If it's a vein such as the superior vena cava, which is right here, that is moving back to the heart, and it goes into the right atrium. So here is the superior vena cava, and the superior vena cava goes up from here to here. Then you'll see two branches, a branch here and a branch there. This, from here to here, this point, this would be called the right brachiocephalic vein. This would be the left brachiocephalic vein. Then you'll see that at this point it branches twice again. The lower one will always be the subclavian. That means from the arm. So the subclavian goes from the right arm into here. Here is the right subclavian, and the right subclavian then feeds into the right brachiocephalic vein. The right brachiocephalic then feeds into the superior vena cava. So this is the right subclavian vein. This is the right jugular vein. That also feeds into the right subclavian. Over here we have the left jugular vein, and here we have the left subclavian vein, which are moving into the left brachiocephalic vein, into the superior vena cava, and then feeding into the right atrium, which is right here. Below the heart is the inferior vena cava, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and the coronary sinus. The coronary sinus will be on the back of the heart. That also feeds into the right atrium. These are the important ones that you guys will have to find. Other ones that might be found is if I have the pen somewhere inside the area of the biceps, that would be a brachial vein. And I would say on it, I would say blue. So name this blue vessel. And if it was, you would say that that would be the left brachial vein. If it was in the thigh over here, this would be the femoral. So this would be the right femoral vein is what you would have over here. So either left or right, and if it says red or blue, then the blue one will be the vein, the red one will be the artery. Okay, let's move on to the arteries then. Above the heart, you would see the aorta, but it's tough to see unless you take the heart out. So we're going to start with this one right here, the one right up above the heart. That is the brachiocephalic artery. It is not a left, it is not a right, it is just one brachiocephalic artery. That branches three ways. If you take a look at this right here, you can see one branch, two branches, and three branches. The first branch on the right over here, the cat's right that is, will be the right subclavian artery with blood going to the right arm. This one here would be the right carotid artery, which you will find right here, and that goes to the head. And the third one is the left carotid artery. The left carotid artery goes right along the trachea to the brain also. Coming off of the aorta by itself is the left subclavian artery, which is going to go to the left arm then. So those are the major arteries that you have. The brachiocephalic artery, which branches three ways, and then the left subclavian artery, which comes off by itself. The only other major artery is deep underneath the lungs, and that is along the back, and that would be the descending aorta, and this is the aorta with the descending aorta attached. Now, the chambers of the heart. On the top of the heart, on the right side, would be the right atrium, which goes down to the right ventricle, which is here, and that would go through the tricuspid valve. Then what happens is that would go to the lungs. It would come back to the left atrium, which is this little small chamber right here, and from the left atrium it will go to the left ventricle through the bicuspid valve. Then it goes out through the aortic semilunar to the aorta. So that takes care of all of them that are found in the chest, and then you have the ones in the arms, which are brachials, and the ones in the legs, which are the femorals. And that's your entire test.